Top 5 most rare and valuable Washington quarters that could make you rich, turning pocket change into life-changing money. Let's uncover the top 5 most rare and valuable Washington quarters that collectors dream of finding. The 1965 Washington quarter is significant in U.S. coinage history because it marked the transition from silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition. While most 1965 quarters are common and worth face value, certain rare errors and anomalies can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. Below is an overview of the history and the most valuable errors. History of the 1965 Washington quarter. Composition change. In 1965, the U.S. Mint switched from 90% silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to the rising price of silver. This made 1965 quarters the first non-silver quarters since 1932. Transition period. To avoid hoarding, the Mint dated all quarters struck in 1965 as 1965, even those produced into 1966. Rare and valuable 1965 quarter errors. 1965 silver quarter. Error details. A small number of 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver plankets from 1964. Value. These are among the rarest and most valuable errors, selling for $7,000 to over $10,000 depending on condition. How to identify. A 1965 silver quarter weighs about 6.25 grams compared to 5.67 grams for the copper-nickel version. A coin scale can help you confirm this. Off-center strikes. Error details. Quarters with off-center designs are highly collectible. The value depends on how much of the design is missing and the visibility of the date. Value. These errors can range from $50 to $1,000 or more, depending on the severity, and I appeal. Double die errors. Error details. Doubling of the design elements, such as the date, lettering, or details in Washington's profile, occurs during the die-making process. Value. A strong double die can fetch $500 to $3,000, depending on rarity and condition. Wrong planchet errors. Error details. Some 1965 quarters were struck on plankets intended for other coins, such as dimes or foreign coins. Value. These errors are rare and highly sought after, with values ranging from $2,000 to $10,000 or more. Clipped plankets. Error details. A clipped planchet occurs when the blank metal disc is improperly cut, resulting in a quarter with a missing section. Value. Clipped planchet errors can sell for $50 to $500, depending on size and condition. Broad struck errors. Error details. Coins struck without a collar, resulting in a coin with an expanded, uncentered rim. Value. Broad-struck 1965 quarters can be worth $100 to $1,000 or more, depending on the degree of error. Tips for identifying rare 1965 quarters. Weigh your coin. Use a precise coin scale to determine if you have a silver planchet error. Examine details. Look closely at the lettering, date, and edges for signs of doubling, off-centering, or other anomalies. Certification. Submit your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. The 1969 Washington quarter is generally common in circulation and worth face value unless it has errors or is in exceptional condition. However, certain rare errors and varieties from 1969 can fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars. Below is a breakdown of the history and high-value errors associated with the 1969 quarter. History of the 1969 Washington quarter. Composition. By 1969, the U.S. Mint was producing quarters with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This transition began in 1965, replacing the 90% silver quarters minted before that year. Rare and valuable 1969 quarter errors. Double die obverse DDO. Error details. Doubling on the obverse design, such as Washington's profile, date, or lettering, caused during the hubbing process. Value. A strong DDO can sell for $1,000 to $5,000, depending on the clarity of the doubling and the coin's condition. How to identify. Look for doubling on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. Off-center strikes. Error details. Coins struck off-center, where part of the design is missing, are valuable depending on how off-center the strike is. Value. These can range from $100 to over $1,000, with coins showing more dramatic off-centering fetching higher prices. Wrong planchet errors. Error details. Some 1969 quarters were struck on plankets intended for other coins, such as dimes or foreign coins. Value. These rare errors can bring to $1,000 to $10,000 or more, especially if the planchet is a precious metal like silver. Clipped plankets. Error details. Quarters with a clipped edge, caused by improper cutting of the planchet, are collectible. Value. Clipped plankets can sell for $50 to $300, depending on the size and visibility of the clip. Broad-struck errors. Error details. Broad-struck coins are struck without the collar, resulting in a larger, distorted coin. Value. These errors can fetch $100 to $500 or more, depending on condition and severity. 1969's proof cameo coins. Details. Proof coins, minted in San Francisco, are highly reflective and struck with precision. A cameo or deep cameo finish, where the raised details appear frosted against a reflective background, is highly desirable. Value. High-grade 1969's cameo proof quarters can sell for $100 to $1,000 plus, with perfect grades PR70 fetching the highest prices. Most valuable 1969 quarter. The 1969 double die obverse, if found, is one of the most valuable varieties, with prices easily exceeding $5,000 for coins in top condition. Errors like wrong planchet strikes or extreme off-center strikes can exceed $10,000 in rare cases. How to identify rare 1969 quarters. Magnification. Use a jeweler's loupe or microscope to spot doubling or other subtle errors. Weight. A wrong planchet error may have a weight significantly different from the standard 5.67 grams. Grading. Submit any suspected rare coins to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication and valuation. The 1973 Washington quarter is part of the copper-nickel-clad coin series and is generally worth face value in circulated condition. However, certain errors, varieties, and coins in exceptional condition can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars to collectors. Below is a detailed breakdown of the value and history of the 1973 quarter, focusing on the most valuable and rare examples. History of the 1973 Washington quarter. Composition. Like all quarters minted after 1965, the 1973 quarter was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Rare and valuable 1973 quarter errors. Double die obverse DDO. Value. Depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition, a 1973 DDO quarter can sell for $500 to $5,000. How to identify. Look closely for clear doubling under magnification, particularly on the text or date. Off-center strikes. Error details. Quarters that were struck off-center, leaving part of the design missing, are valuable. Value. Off-center strikes can range from $100 to $1,500, depending on how much of the design is affected and if the date remains visible. Wrong planchet errors. Error details. A small number of 1973 quarters may have been struck on plankets intended for other coins, for example dimes or foreign coin blanks. Value. These errors are rare and can sell for $2,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on the specific planchet used and its rarity. How to identify. Coins struck on a wrong planchet will weigh differently than the standard 5.67 grams. Clipped plankets. Error details. A clipped planchet occurs when a coin is struck on an improperly cut blank, resulting in a bite taken out of the edge. Value. These can sell for $50 to $500, depending on the size and visibility of the clip. Broad-struck errors. Error details. A coin struck without the retaining collar expands outward, creating a broad, misshapen appearance. Value. Broad-struck 1973 quarters can sell for $100 to $1,000, depending on the degree of error. 1973's proof coins. Details. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins with a mirror-like finish, some with a desirable cameo or deep cameo appearance, where raised details are frosted. Value. High-grade 1973's proof quarters, graded PR69 or PR70, with a deep cameo finish, can sell for $100 to $1,500 or more. Most valuable 1973 quarters. Double die errors. Strong doubling on the obverse or reverse can bring $1,000 to $5,000, especially in uncirculated condition. Wrong planchette errors. These are among the rarest and can exceed $10,000, especially if struck on precious metals or foreign blanks. High-grade coins. 1973 quarters in MS67 or higher mint state can fetch $1,000 to $3,000, as finding coins in such pristine condition is rare. How to identify rare 1973 quarters. Examine closely. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to check for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual features. The 1979D Washington quarter is generally common, with most examples worth face value in circulated condition. However, specific errors, varieties, and coins in exceptional condition can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Below is a detailed breakdown of the history, valuable errors, and tips for identifying high-value 1979D quarters. History of the 1979D Washington quarter. Composition. Like all quarters after 1965, the 1979D is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, outer layers of 75% copper, and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Rare and valuable 1979D quarter errors. Double die obverse DDO. Error details. Doubling can occur on the obverse front of the coin, typically seen on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. Value. A strong DDO can sell for $500 to $3,000, depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. How to identify. Use magnification to check for clear doubling on the text or Washington's profile. Off-center strikes. Error details. Coins struck off-center, where part of the design is missing, are valuable depending on how much of the design is affected. Value. Off-center errors can range from $50 to $1,500, with higher percentages of off-centering being more valuable. Key factor. Coins with the date still visible are worth significantly more. Wrong planchette errors. Error details. These quarters were struck on plankets meant for other coins, for example nickels or foreign coin blanks. Value. Wrong planchette errors are extremely rare and can sell for $1,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on the planchette. How to identify. The coin may weigh differently than the standard 5.67 grams or have a noticeably different size or color. Clipped plankets. Error details. Coins with a portion of the edge clip due to an improperly cut planchette. Value. Clipped planchette errors can sell for $50 to $500, depending on the size and shape of the clip. Broad struck errors. Error details. A coin struck without the retaining collar will expand outward, creating a broad, misshapen appearance. Value. Broad struck quarters can be worth $100 to $1,000, depending on the severity of the error. Die cracks or cuds. Error details. Die cracks or cuds occur when part of the minting die breaks, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin. Value. Minor die cracks might be worth $10 to $50, but larger, more dramatic cuds can fetch $100 to $500. Value. MS66 examples can sell for $100 to $300. MS67 examples are exceptionally rare and can sell for $1,000 or more. Most valuable 1979D quarter. A 1979D quarter with a strong double die obverse DDO or struck on a wrong planchette can exceed $5,000 at auction. Perfect grade coins MS68 are exceedingly rare and could fetch $5,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on demand. The 1981p Washington quarter is a common coin in circulation, but specific errors, varieties, and coins in high-grade condition can make it worth hundreds to thousands of dollars to collectors. Below is a breakdown of the history, valuable errors, and tips for identifying high-value examples of the 1981p quarter. History of the 1981p Washington quarter. Composition. Like all quarters minted after 1965. The 1981p is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, outer layers of 75% copper, and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Rare and valuable 1981p quarter errors. Double die obverse DDO. Value. Depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. A 1981p DDO can sell for $500 to $2,000, How to identify? Use a magnifying glass to check for clear doubling on the text or Washington's profile. Off-center strikes, error details, coins struck off-center, where part of the design is missing, are highly collectible. The degree of off-centering determines its value. Value. Off-center errors can sell for $50 to $1,500, with more dramatic examples fetching higher prices, especially if the date is still visible. Wrong planchette errors, error details. A small number of 1981 P-quarters may have been struck on plankets intended for other coins, such as dimes or foreign coin blanks. Value. These errors are rare and can sell for $1,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on the specific planchette. How to identify? These coins may weigh less if struck on a dime planchette or appear different in size or metal composition. Clipped plankets, error details. This error occurs when the blank planchette was improperly cut, resulting in a missing section of the coin's edge. Value. Clipped planchette errors can sell for $50 to $500, depending on the size and shape of the clip. Broad-struck errors, error details. A broad-struck coin occurs when the retaining collar is not in place during striking, causing the metal to expand outward. Value. Broad-struck 1981 P-quarters can fetch $100 to $500, depending on the severity of the error. Die cracks and cuds. Error details. Die cracks or cuds occur when part of the die breaks, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin. Value. Minor die cracks might be worth $10 to $50, while larger, more dramatic cuds can fetch $100 to $500. Value. MS-65 coins typically sell for $30 to $50. MS-66 coins can bring $150 to $300. MS-67 coins are extremely rare and can sell for $1,000 or more. Most valuable 1981 P-quarters. Double die obverse DDO. These rare varieties can fetch $1,000 to $2,000 or more in higher grades. Wrong planchette errors. These are exceedingly rare and can sell for $5,000 to $10,000 or more. Perfect grade coins MS-68. If a 1981 P-quarter is graded MS-68, it could command $5,000 or higher, though such examples are extremely rare.